Well, what's up again there, guys? Brian here, the Three Topics Gamer, here to give you another solid episode of my weekly Q&A titled People's Questions, where I answer a series of questions that have been sent to me over the past week. Now, we certainly have a much longer episode this time around, but we are centering it around just about 4 questions. I did get a bunch of questions in the comment section of the last video. However, some were answered by other people, and I actually answered a good amount of them. But I do think that these 4 were definitely the top of the bunch. But before I jump into these guys' questions, I would just like to ask you guys, if you haven't already, because I actually want to try this new animation out that I just got for the first time. But if you haven't already, please do not forget to give this video a thumbs up, and please do not forget to press the subscribe button, because every subscription counts. And you know, we're actually growing the channel relatively quickly for some reason. I haven't figured out why, but maybe that's a sign of many great things to come. And also, some of you guys may not have noticed this, or maybe you will, but if you guys can, along with your questions, please let me know if the quality of the video picture has actually improved, because this is actually going to be officially the first video in which not only am I using my brand new Canon M50, I'm actually now using my brand new editing program, which was very expensive. And actually, when comparing the two editing softwares that I've been using, the old one that I've been using for the past number of years and then using this new one, I have noticed a little bit of some differences. But I just want to know if you guys seem to notice it, and if the videos do look better. Please let me know along with your questions in the comments down below. But jumping right into the questions for this particular episode, the first one comes from the Batman of Neo Gotham, and you want to know, if I were in charge of making an Assassin's Creed game, which period would I have it set in? Okay, I get this question all the time. Believe it or not, I did a video about this, I want to say maybe 2 or 3 years ago, where I actually did a top 5 time periods that I would pick. And obviously the one that everyone is talking about is you gotta do one in feudal Japan. That's a given. I think that the fandom is screaming out for an Assassin's Creed game set in feudal Japan so loud that I find it very, very hard to believe that after Assassin's Creed Ragnarok, I would be very, very surprised if we do not eventually get to feudal Japan afterwards. The second era that I would pick is probably during the American Civil War. I think that with Assassin's Creed 3 taking place during the American Revolution, I just figured the next major, significant time period would be the Civil War. And I think it'd be pretty cool if you actually played as like a former slave who was being able to jump between the Union and the Confederate side, and you might even run into some iconic figures. Like you might run into Abraham Lincoln or Harriet Tubman or other historical figures of that time period. I think that those two are the ones that I personally would set an Assassin's Creed game into. Next question comes from Brady Burke, and you want to know, is the damage that Disney has done to Star Wars irreparable? It's not so much irreparable, because they absolutely have all the tools, they have all of the resources to make great Star Wars content, and they have done so in recent months. The Mandalorian. The Mandalorian is a great Star Wars series. I would even say that Star Wars Rogue One was a very safe Star Wars Disney movie. And heck, with Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order being probably the best story-driven Star Wars game ever made, that is proof that there is potential for them to actually make great Star Wars content moving forward. It's just the people up top that are making all these bad decisions. I think that if they put the right person in charge, who listens to the fans and is actually a true Star Wars fan, if they give us 5 years of just great Star Wars content from Disney, then I have no doubt in my mind that the Disney sequel trilogy era is going to be forgotten relatively quickly, and we can move on to greater pastures. They absolutely can come back. Everybody loves a comeback story. Everybody wants to see Star Wars do good, especially me. So I don't think it's irreparable, but I do think it is going to take some time and some really, really smart people and a lot of really hard work. Next question is also kind of Star Wars related. It comes from Shadow Desis Gaming, and you want to know, what are my thoughts on George Lucas wanting to come back to Lucasfilms? I personally wouldn't see why. I would have no problem with George coming back. The question is, in what capacity? Are they going to bring him in as an advisor? Are they actually going to listen to his ideas? Or, will they be curious and actually pay for him to do another Star Wars film. It's a matter of how much do they want George to be involved, because it's no secret that he really does not like the direction in terms of the sequel trilogy that they decided to go. Because, it's documented that, he had ideas, he gave him suggestions, and they basically took those ideas and threw them away, and George felt rather betrayed. So if they want to bring him back as to say, we're sorry that we messed with your IP, that we've put it in such a bad state, could you help us get it in a better position? If they want to put him in that kind of position, I think that would be very, very good, and that's something that the fans would listen to, because say what you will about the prequels, but the man had a clear vision, and he knew what he wanted to do, and he stayed true to that. And that is something that Disney just does not know what to do. They do not know how to handle this property. The people up top do not know how to steer this franchise. There are people working within Lucas that certainly do have the mindset and are true fans that I do believe can steer this ship. But whoever is on top currently is not that person. So if they ever do announce that George will come back to Lucasfilms, I think that would be an incredible announcement, and I think that would encourage us older fans to actually come back and give it another try. I know I would come back. And the last question of the episode comes from Trooper XD Extreme, awesome name, and you want to know, what would I think of a Batman Arkham series reboot from Rocksteady? I've heard of this. I swear I would love Rocksteady to tackle someone else. Let's get away from Batman. Batman's easy. Honestly, this has been talked about for at least 2 decades, but honestly, someone really needs to give a Superman game a real try. I think that we have Batman. It's easier to do Batman games because he's so grounded. I think if you could actually put off, or even Spider-Man. Spider-Man is kind of grounded. It doesn't seem so OP. There's so many other heroes that they could focus on. I mean, instead of doing a Batman game, why not focus on doing a Robin game, or a Nightwing game, or a Batman family game? We don't need to focus solely on Batman. We have done Batman to death. We are about to get a new Batman in the films, and I'm not even sure what type of direction they're going to go with that. Let's just, if they're going to want to reboot this series, I would really prefer we back off from Batman. We don't need Batman. We've done enough of him. I mean, I love him to death, but heck, let's focus on some other characters. We've already proven that Batman can work. Batman has revolutionized how comic book video games are even made. And now I think we should do that with another character within that universe. So, honestly, that is all I would want. If they are going to want to reboot this or do something similar, have it focus on another member of the Bat family. Or heck, if anything, if we're going to do another Batman game, why not do a Batman Beyond story? Let's get away from Bruce Wayne. Let's focus on Terry McGinnis or one of his Bruce's sons that eventually takes over the cowl. I would be so up for that. But that's just how I feel about it. If they're gonna do it, it has to be something different. Don't make it Arkham focused or have it get away from Bruce Wayne. Let's actually progress the Batman type of video games moving forward instead of just going back and wanting to just remodify what's already worked before. Let's get something new. And with that, those are the questions that have been sent to me for this particular episode. I'd like to thank everyone whose questions made it into this video, as well as everyone whose question I managed to answer in the comment section. Please remember, if you have a question that you would like me to answer either in the comment section or in the video for next week, be sure to type them in the comments down below. And if you want to increase your chances of having them answered in the video, just make sure they're kind of interesting or stand out or have some depth. Otherwise, they might get answered by someone else in the comments down below, or I'll just answer them in the comments down below as well. And like always, thank you guys for watching. You're awesome, and I will see you next time.